To create a new document, go to File and then New. This brings up the New Document dialog window where you can define the settings for your new document. You can also create a new document using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+N on the PC and Command+N on the Mac. In the Settings dialog, you can choose the size, orientation, measurement units and other specifics for your new document. There are also some preset profiles available that will automatically define the settings depending on your selection. The default profile is for print, which I can see is set to A4, a CMYK colour mode amongst other settings. If I were to change that to the web profile, you can see that those settings change accordingly. If you choose to adjust just one of the preset profiles, it will then become a custom profile. Generally speaking, the default print profile will be suitable for most fashion drawing, particularly if you intend to print the drawings in tech packs or on presentation boards. The print profile uses CMYK, which is a 4-colour mode that utilises the colours cyan, magenta, yellow and black in various amounts to create all of the necessary colours when printing images. If, however, you are creating drawings for the web or digital media, you can always select either the web profile, or alternatively you can change the colour mode manually in the advanced settings to RGB. RGB stands for red, green and blue and is the colour scheme that is associated with electronic displays such as CRT, LCD monitors, digital cameras and scanners. When deciding on the colour mode, it's worth bearing in mind that RGB contains more colours than are actually printable, so if you intend to print your artwork, it is safer to create the document in CMYK. I can choose to give my document a name now, which will also be the file name, or I can do this upon first save. So let's just type in my document. I can select how many artboards I want to include in my document. Artboards represent the regions that can contain printable artwork. You can have 1 to 100 artboards per document depending on the size. You can specify the number of artboards for a document when you first create it, and you can add and remove artboards at any time while working in a document. For now, I'm going to select 2 artboards. Multiple artboards are useful for creating a variety of things, including multiple page PDFs. Once I'm happy with my document settings, I can click OK to create the new document. I now have a blank document that contains 2 artboards. I can see the name of my document in the tabbed window title. If I want to alter either the number of artboards or the position or size of the artboards, I can do so via the Artboard tool and the Artboard panel. The Artboard tool is located in the Tool panel. The Artboard panel is located in the Panel dock. If it's not there, you will find it under Window and Artboards. Click on the Artboard panel icon to expand the panel. The 2 artboards we created with the new document are listed here. If you want to add another artboard, just click on the New Artboard button. A new artboard appears in the panel and on the canvas. I can also create a new artboard using the Artboard tool. I'll just go ahead and select it. Then all I need to do is drag to create a new artboard. You can hold down Shift as you drag to constrain the proportions. If you want to rename an artboard, just double click in the title column and type in a new name. Alternatively, you can click on the icon to the right of the artboard title to bring up the artboard options. Here you can also change the name and also define other settings such as the size and the orientation. If you want to delete an artboard, you can do so by clicking the Delete button in the Artboard options. Alternatively, you can select the artboard in the Artboard panel and then click on the Delete icon. OK, I'm just going to alter the zoom level to 50% so we can see more of the canvas. If you want to reposition the artboards on the canvas, you can do so with the Artboard tool. Once you've selected the Artboard tool, you can see each artboard has a number and title displayed in the top left corner. This corresponds to the number and name in the Artboard panel. To reposition an artboard, just click on it and drag it to a new position on the canvas. Green guidelines appear to help you align with other artboards. You can also select Rearrange Artboards from the Artboard menu to position the artboards with more control. You can select different layout options, columns and spacing. Click OK to save. You can also use the Artboard tool to resize artboards manually. To do so, click on one of the nodes on the side or corners of the artboard and drag to the required size. If you want to constrain the proportions, hold down the Shift key as you drag. One thing to remember is that the position of the artboards on the canvas bears no relation to the print order. The print order is determined by the linear order of the artboards in the panel. If you want to change the print order, then select the artboard in the panel and use the arrow keys to change the order. Artboards can also be copied. Any content you have on the artboard will also be copied. I'm going to quickly draw a rectangle so that we have something on the artboard. To do the copy, I'm going to select the artboard with my rectangle in the Artboard panel. I'm then going to drag it onto the new artboard icon. By default, it zooms in on my newly created artboard, so I'm just going to change the zoom back to 50% so we can see the original artboard and the copy. So we've now covered creating a new document from scratch and how to set up your artboards. You can also create new documents from templates. Templates let you create new documents that share common settings and design elements, for example, specific sets of colour swatches or guidelines. When you create a document from a template, Illustrator copies the contents of the template but creates a brand new document from it so that when you save, you're not overriding the template file. To create a document from a template, go to File and then New from Template. Illustrator comes with a number of preset templates, so you are shown the location of these files by default. You can also browse for your own file. I've created a dummy file for fashion drawing as a template, so I'm going to browse for that and then select it. If I now save this file, it prompts me to choose a new name for the file, which will make it independent from the template. If you want to create your own templates, all you need to do is create your desired content in a new document and then go to File and Save as Template. Template files have a slightly different file icon to that of a normal Illustrator file. The file on the left is a normal Illustrator file. The file on the right is an Illustrator template file. You can download my dummy template from the lesson topic page to use this throughout the tutorials and workshops in this course. The final area to cover when creating and setting up a new document is grids, guides and rulers. These are all tools to help aid your drawing and add control. One thing to note is grids and guides are just for reference. They do not show in prints and you can choose to either hide or show them on your artboard when you are working. First, let's look at the grid. The grid overlays the canvas with grid lines which are useful for lining up drawing elements. To turn on the grid, go to View and Show Grid. By default, the grid is set up as a grid line every 1 centimetre. We will cover how to change this in a later tutorial on preferences. To turn off the grid, go to View and Hide Grid. The next one we will look at is the ruler. My dummy template has the ruler set up by default. When you create a new document from scratch, the ruler is turned off by default. To turn the ruler on and off, you can do so from the View menu. So it's View, Rulers, Hide Rulers, or View, Rulers, Show Rulers. The ruler display units are determined by the unit of measure you selected during the document setup. We will cover how to change the units within a document in a later tutorial on preferences. We use rulers to create guides on the artboard. You will find that you will use guides a lot when drawing fashion. To create a guide on the artboard, just click either on the top or side ruler and drag to the desired position on the artboard. I can also turn any path into a guide. Let's just take the line segment tool and we'll go ahead and choose a stroke colour and then draw a straight line. To turn it into a guide, I just right click and choose Make Guides. If you want to preview your work without the guides on show, you can turn them on and off from the View menu. Go to View, Guides and Hide Guides, or View, Guides and Show Guides. If you want to permanently remove the guides in your document, go to View, Guides and Clear Guides. You can also hide and unhide the guides using Ctrl plus semicolon on the PC or Command plus semicolon on the Mac. Guides behave like any other object on the artboard and are selectable with the selection tool, which is the black arrow in the toolbar. With this tool selected, you can click on a guide and drag it to a new position. With the selection tool, you can also click on a guide to select it and then hit delete on your keyboard to delete it. There will be instances where you do not want to be able to accidentally select and move guides. You can lock guides by going to the View menu and choosing Guides and Lock Guides. A tick will appear next to Lock Guides to show they are locked. If I try to select the guide now, you will see that it is not possible. To unlock the guides, go to View, Guides and Lock Guides again. The guides are now editable again. And that concludes how to create and set up new documents in Illustrator.